Okay, just so that we don't redraw the talents, but not the hero talents. We can start in the hero talents. So good old Rep Paladin in Midnight Alpha is looking like this, boys. We got Herald of the Sun and Templar, which is normal, right? So, if you're not familiar, for Herald of the Sun, you have Dawnlight. I'm just gonna click it so that I can actually start like setting up my builds at the same time. So casting Wake of Ashes causes your next 6 holy power spending abilities to apply Dawnlight to your target, dealing radiant damage over time or healing. 8% of Dawnlight's damage and healing radiates to nearby enemies or allies. Right? So cool. We've got Morning Star. Every 5 seconds, your next Dawnlight's damage or healing is increased by 5%. Stack up to 10 times. Morning Star stacks twice as fast while out of combat. Okay. While a Dawn Light is active, your holy power spending abilities deal more damage. I'm gonna do that one. And what's up with this? Your next Dawn Light's damage or healing it. Okay, whatever. Dawn Light reduces the movement speed of enemies. Oh, okay, and buffs up your allies' movement speed. It's this thing where it's like a combination of everything has to have like a healing effect, like a positive and negative effect, right? So movement speed is just increased when above 80% health. When your health is below 35%, your movement speed is increased. You know what? Let's just put a slow on fools. Aurora. After you cast Wake of Ashes, gain Divine Purpose. Your next holy power spending ability is free and deals more damage. Great. Fun. Sun's Avatar. During Avenging Wrath, you become linked to your Dawn Lights within 30 yards, causing damage over time or healing. Activating Radiant Glory applies up to 1 Dawn Light to nearby allies or enemies and increases Dawn Light's duration by 20%. Okay, whatever. Whatever that means. Eternal Flame. Oh, this is only Herald, huh? A little bit of self-healing or friendly healing. Damage healing over time effects have a chance to increase your next judgment damage. Okay. Or Dawnlight leaves an Eternal Flame for 6 seconds on allies or a greater judgment on enemies when it expires or is extended. A greater judgment. Sure. You have a 100% chance to gain Blessing of Anshe and generate 2 holy power when casting Avenging Wrath. Okay, whatever. There's not really a choice here, just good to know. Critical strike chance of Hammer of Wrath and Divine Storm is increased by 10%. Cool. Hammer of Wrath and Divine Storm critical strikes cause the target to burn for additional radiant damage. Okay. Divine Storm and Hammer of Wrath have a 20% chance to gain, or sorry, to cast again, so you get like the double hammer, double Divine Storm. It's kind of cool with increased effectiveness. Or we could stop doing all this silliness, so we can do whatever this is. Dawnlight's duration is increased by 0.3 seconds whenever struck by Divine Storm or Templar's Verdict. Okay. Your haste is increased by 2% for 12 seconds each time you apply Dawnlight. Okay. And Dawnlight's critical strike chance is increased by 50% during Avenging Wrath. Okay, cool. Great. Let's set up Templar too, I suppose, just for fun. Yeah, Templar seems cool. I think a lot of people play Herald of the Sun currently in retail, but who knows? Templar is like a heavy dunker hit, isn't it? We have Light's Guidance. Wake of Ashes is replaced by Hammer of Light for 20 seconds after it's cast. Okay. So hammer down your enemy with the power of the light, dealing a whole bunch of holy damage, up to 4 nearby enemies. Additionally, it calls down an Empyrean hammers from the sky to strike enemies versus a little bit more holy damage. Okay. So Hammer of Light instantly calls down 2 Empyrean hammers near your target when it casts. Cool. Wake of Ashes surrounds you with a holy barrier. Hammer of Light heals you for your max health a little bit. Any overhealing becomes a barrier. Do we want defense? Maybe. Casting Judgment increases the damage of Empyrean Hammer by 5% for 12 seconds. Or Empyrean Hammer has a chance to crit. I mean, we'll just take the damage. Let's see. After casting Hammer of Light, you call down an Empyrean Hammer on a nearby target every 2 seconds. Okay. Crusader Strike, Hammer of Wrath, and Blade of Justice extend the duration of Shake the Heavens. Have we figured out what Shake the Heavens is quite yet? This. Okay, right. Calling it an Empyrean Hammer is that. Okay, cool. Final Verdict and Divine Storm calls down an Empyrean Hammer on a nearby enemy. While Shake the Heavens is active, this effect calls down additional Empyrean Hammer. All kinds of hammer action going on here. When Empyrean Hammer critically strikes, 50% of its damage is dealt to nearby enemies. Enemies hit by this effect deal 5% reduced damage. Defense? Pfft. Don't want that. Utility? Pfft. You receive 20% less damage from Blessing of Sack. Sure. You gain movement speed. Okay. Divine Steed lasts longer and buffs your movement speed. Okay. Hammer of Light applies judgment to its target, increase your haste by 50%. I mean, that's kind of nice. Haste is cool. But you gain a stack of Light's Deliverance when you call down an Empyrean Hammer. A Wake of Ashes and Hammer of Light are unavailable. You consume 50 stacks of Light's Deliverance, empowering yourself to cast Hammer of Light an additional time for free. Oh, the double dunker. I like that. So, Divine Toll summons Divine Hammers that spin around you. Interesting. So that used to be a talent, right? We'll try that. That's new, right? Empyrean Hammer deals 20% increased critical strike damage and critical strikes have a 50% chance to grant an additional stack of Light's Deliverance, right? Light's Deliverance. I know we just read all this stuff. But this one right here, okay. The double dunker, cool. Divine Toll casts 2 additional times on your target. Oh, wow. Final Verdict damage increase. Oh, wow. Those are both cool. So we'll take the Final Verdict. Let's do Templar. I think Templar seems more interesting to me than Herald of the Sun. Let's do the double dunker Templar status. Okay, so now we can read through all these talents before we pick some. Sound good? Templar is what folks play? Yeah. Nowadays? It's cool. Hey, Wookie. So you have Lay on Hands, which is like your first on talent. Just a gigantic heal that gives you, you know, a full health basically, right? And grants the target 30% increased armor. Cannot be used on a target with Forbearance. It causes Forbearance. You also have Auras of the Resolute. I think we're going with Devotion Aura, right? That's the one that we have. I guess we can choose. Devotion Aura is what I want, though. Party and raid members are bolstered, reducing damage taken by 3%. Great. Do Concentration Aura for Interrupted Silence, shorter effect, and then you can also just do more mounted movement speed. Then we have Hammer of Wrath. During Avenging Wrath, Judgment is empowered into Hammer of Wrath. That's different, isn't it? Hammer of Wrath used to be just different. Now it hurls a divine hammer that strikes an enemy for more damage, generates holy power. Hammer of Wrath used to just be its own ability, yeah? Not anymore. Now you can cleanse toxins. Cleanses a friendly target, moving all poison and disease effects. Lay on Hands grants target armor. Right, but that's just baked into this thing because of the talent. Okay, gotcha. Fist of Justice, we're going to want that. Blind, sure. Don't you do it. Okay. You weren't even giving me a guided build experience anyway. Oh, you know what? I think these will be different depending on what we look at, huh? Interesting. Whatever. Sure, we'll take that too. So Blinding Light is like a big AoE blind. Turn Evil. You can like fear demons and stuff. Like a little casted ability. So adjust reward after cleanse toxins successfully removes an effect from the ally. They are healed. Cool. After you spend 20 holy power, your next word of glory echoes onto a nearby ally, or the cooldown of Lay on Hands is reduced by up to 60% based on the target's missing health. And a word of glory healing is increased by up to 100% of yourself. Okay, I want that. I don't think I'm taking any of this stuff. Do I have to use this? Anyway, let's just read them before I figure out what I'm picking, huh? Divine Steed. Leap atop your charger for 3.6 seconds, increasing movement speed by 100%. Usable while indoors or in combat. Okay. Light's Countenance. We already picked that. That's just resource reduction. Judgment causes the target to take 20% increased damage for next holy power ability. That has to be on there. Greater Judgment isn't required. And then you either have a faster cast time or an AoE fear. Okay, cool. For demons. Forbearance duration is reduced by 10 seconds. That's cool. 2 charges on Steed. Steed's cooldown is reduced, but it's so is its duration. Okay, interesting. The Divine Steed also grants freedom. Yeah, need that. Or Blessing of Freedom. You can give that to a teammate. I don't just freedom yourself. Call it good. For now. A little pummel. It'd be nice. Obduracy. Speed increased by 2% and damage taken from area of effects reduced. I mean, probably click that. Divine Toll, we want that. Instantly cast Judgment on up to 5 targets. Divine Toll's Judgment deals 100% increased damage. Cool. Unbound Freedom, Blessing of Freedom increases movement speed. Yep. Armor increased. Yep. Probably 2 of those. Successfully interrupting an enemy with Rebuke casts Crusader Strike. I mean, maybe. Maybe I might take that. The radius of your auras is increased a little bit. Brought to the light, killing an enemy that yields experience or honor causes you to explode with holy energy. Healing up to 5 allies and yourself. Okay, interesting. Blessing of Sack, utility. Ugh. After casting Divine Toll, you instantly cast Judgment every 5 seconds. Yup. That's kind of fun. Bop, we'll take that, sure. Fear no evil. Fear duration on you is reduced by 20%. This effect is increased to 60% during Avenging Wrath. That's kind of cool. Consecrated Ground. Consecration is larger, and enemies within it have reduced movement speed. Divine Hammer is 25% larger, and enemies within them have minus 873% in reduced movement speed. Okay, that doesn't... that seems like we need to test that. Could just be a tooltip thing, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see. So, armor and critical strike chance increased with Holy Aegis. You know, let's click that. Let's click that so we can click this. For fun. Reduce quota of Blessing of Sack. After Blessing of Sack ends, I don't care. I'm not... no, I need to read it. 50% of total damage diverted. Added to your next judgment as bonus damage, or as bonus healing on Word of Glory. The effect's bonus damage cannot exceed 30% of your maximum health, and its bonus healing cannot exceed 100% of... That's actually kind of cool. Recompense. Then we've got Holy Power spending abilities have a 2% increased damage and healing. Okay. Holy Power spending abilities have a 10% chance to make your next Holy Power spending ability free. Oh yeah, let's do Divine Purpose. Blessing of Protection is a shorter cooldown. Reduce the cooldown of your Divine Shield. Yep, we'll do that. Divine Storm heals you. Okay. Divine Steed, reduce the cooldown of 4 nearby allies' major movement speed thingies. That's actually insane. Ret Warrior with like reduced cooldown on charge and leap and stuff. That sounds awesome. Do I want that? Maybe I do. Worthy Sacrifice. You automatically cast Blessing of Sacrifice on an ally. Ooh, auto sack. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I need. Then Blessing of Sacrifice now removes the prevents all poison. I mean, that would be like, I don't know if that's good. Maybe in PvE. Allies are healed for a certain amount when you cast a Blessing of Protection or Blessing of Sacrifice on them. Okay. Allies affected by your blessings have movement speed increase. Cool. Divine Protection increases healing taken. Okay. And Light's Revocation is removing harmful effects with Divine Shield gives you 10% for each, or heals you for 10%, right? It cannot exceed 30%, okay. It will now be cast while Forbearance active. You probably click it just for that note alone. Consecration can heal you, your teammates. Or Flash of Light is more effective on your allies, and some of that healing heals you, okay. Word of Glory gives you bonus armor, potentially. The duration of stun effects on you is reduced by 20% with Stoicism. Oh, nice. So you have the fear reduction and stun reduction. Sounds kind of interesting, Dark Warrior. Thank you so much, man. A big flex for you, pumping us up. Thank you, man. Thank you. Mastery and strength increased? Oh, lordy. Oh, lordy. We better click that all the way. Shield of Vengeance. Yeah, we're going to want that. We have to go through this to get it, though. Yeah. Vengeful Wrath, Hammer of Wrath deals with 25% additional damage based on, a low health. Oh my god, my talents are gone. What happened? Okay, Eye for an Eye. They receive holy damage each time they strike you during Divine Protection and Divine Shield. Okay. Right, Consecration heals you, or Flash of Light does some stuff. While you're above 85% health, 5% of all damage taken by allies within 20 yards is redirected to you. Interesting. 10% of all healing done to you from other sources heals people around you. Cool. Damage taken reduced by 10%, increasing as your health decreases. Okay. Well then. Kind of cool. Well then. Neat. Okay, so that's all of the just normal Paladin stuff. Now we have the Ret stuff. In particular. Now some of these things will be specific to Templar, I imagine, like the Apex talents. Let's just read them. Art of War increases the damage of your next Blade of Justice by 150%. Avenging Wrath grants you Art of War. Avenging Wrath further decreases the damage, or sorry, further increases the damage of your final verdict and Divine Storm by 20%. Good lord. And during Avenging Wrath, Blade of Justice unleashes a wave of holy energy, dealing a bunch of holy damage to its primary target, and more to its other enemies in the past. So does this change if we're playing Herald of the Sun? Take a quick gander. I feel like a lot of the capstones are like utility. Okay, so it's the same, whether you're playing Herald of the Sun or not. Interesting. Ret is just Ret. I guess that makes sense, right? Or does it? Actually, not sure. Because, I mean, the arms ones didn't change depending on whether you're... Well, we actually don't know what the warrior ones were like. I guess the Frosty K ones didn't change whether we were Deathbringer or whatever. Okay, whatever, sorry. Like, Ret has just one DPS. Paladin has one DPS effect. Anyway. Blade of Justice is, you pierce enemies with a Blade of Light, dealing damage. But this gets all powered up by that. That's kind of cool. Divine Storm, you have to take it, I guess. Just a little AoE, Holy Power Spender. Blade of Justice causes the target to burn with Expurgation. Swift Justice, reduce the cooldown of Judgment by 2 seconds and Crusader Strike by 2 seconds. Or, reduce the cooldown of Blade of Justice. I mean, if we're going to be Blade of Justicing fools, I mean, maybe that's good. With this. Judgment deals 10% increased damage and increase your movement speed. I like that. That sounds fun. If you have Greater Judgment, it also slows them. I like that. I might want that. Then we have Avenging Wrath, replaced by Radiant Glory. Okay, good to know down there. Call upon the light to become an avatar of Retribution, increasing your damage, healing, and critical strike chance. You know, just good old wings. It's a 1 minute cooldown by default, unless it's being affected by talents, but it's also being replaced by whatever it is, Radiant Glory, right? Okay. So then we have Final Verdict. Huge, heavy hitter. Has a chance to reach the cooldown of Judgment. I think that's a talent, though. Let's see. So, Blade of Justice now has 2 charges, or Blade of Justice gives you more holy power. Okay. I feel like you might want more charges, though, right? For this thing? You can do 2, like, Giga Slashes. That sounds kind of cool. See how that plays out. Each holy power spent has a 6% chance to reduce the cooldown, or reset the cooldown of Blade of Justice, and increase the damage of the next cast, or your auto attacks have a 15% chance to reset the cooldown of Blade of Justice and increase its damage. I think that's better, yeah? So auto attacks? I mean, holy power might be better, but this also looks bugged, tooltip wise. I mean, you're always spending holy power from range. You're not necessarily always auto attacking, but okay, we'll take that. So Final Verdict and Blade of Justice deal more damage. The range of Final Verdict and Blade of Justice is now increased to 20 yards, right? Divine Storm projects an additional wave of light, striking all enemies 20 yards in front of you for 20% of Divine Storm's damage. Okay. You don't really need that, do you? Pick something else. The Critical Strike of Holy Power generating abilities grants you 5% haste. Okay, Critical Strike, so a little bit more crit sort of synergy there. Enemies hit by Divine Storm take 20% more damage from Consecration and Divine Hammers, right? You deal a 5% increased holy damage for enemies burning from Expurgation. Okay. I mean, you can do that. That's easy. Judgment now has 2 charges, or Judgment generates additional holy power, has a 50% chance to trigger High Lord's Judgment. Right, okay. You can always move it over here for that too, right? Auto attack speed is increased by 40%. Okay. Crusader Strike and auto attacks deal 20% increased damage and more crit damage. Alrighty. Blade of Justice now hits nearby enemies for some AoE. Alrighty. Crusader Strike has a 50% chance to make your next Divine Storm free and deal additional damage. They just love these cleave things, which are not that great for PvP, but probably good for PvE. High Lord's Judgment Mastery is 50% more effective on Judgment and Hammer of Wrath. Judgment applies an additional stack of Greater Judgment if I have it, which I do. Crusader Strike loses a charge, but now strikes twice. Templar Strike slashes an enemy. Right. And it always crits, huh? Crusader Strike and Judgment hit an additional 4 targets, but deal less damage to secondary targets. Okay. Your damage over time effects deal 10% more damage. And I guess we do have Expurgation, but, like, what else do we have? Like, I feel like that's not that good. What of me? I mean, are we expurgating? Yeah, I guess we are. Okay, whatever. Where were we? Here. So Templar Strikes, Judgment, Blade of Justice deal more damage. Okay. And then Execution Sentence, which is kind of cool. So you do a bunch of damage up to 10 seconds. They suffer 10% of the holy damage you've dealt to all targets affected by the initial blast. So is this like Execution Sentence plus Final Verdict together? Probably. And then holy power spending abilities deal more damage after casting execution sentence. Your next 2 holy power abilities will refund that holy power cost. Okay. It sounds kind of like Final Verdict and execution sentence put together. It's because it does like a big AoE, and then all the holy damage that everybody took gets combined into that one guy. Kind of crazy. The blue judgment for the slow. This one? Instead of that, yeah. I like what you're thinking, bro. I like what you're thinking. So good old Wake of Ashes. Lash out at your enemies, dealing a whole bunch of damage. And applying Truth's Wake. Burning targets, right, but then we have this little burning thing too, right? That's only from Expurgation. Then this is more dot damage, I guess, if we happen to care. Doesn't do very much. Generates 3 holy power. Wake of Ashes deals way more damage to secondary targets. But now causes you to, significantly less damage to secondary targets. But now it makes you do more attacks. And then you have Radiant Glory, which is Avenging Wrath is replaced with Radiant Glory. Wake of Ashes activates Avenging Wrath for 12 seconds. Okay, so it's like a shorter cooldown wings activator. Or when Truth's Wake critically strikes, its duration is extended by 2 seconds. Your other damage over time effects deal 30% increased damage to targets affected by Truth's Wake. So this is kind of nice if you wanted to do like, you know, Templar with this kind of stuff, right? We also have Divine Wrath. Increases the duration of Avenging Wrath or Crusade by 4 seconds. Cool. Avenging Wrath empowers your next single target. Holy Power. Ability to automatically activate Divine Storm. Right. And then you have Crusade. Avenging Wrath now grants you haste. Each holy power spent during Avenging Wrath increases haste by a bunch. Okay, gotcha. Cool. Do we have any new PvP talents? You have Luminescence. There's a little heal around you. I don't think I didn't see anything new. Do you? I don't think so. Oh, nice though. Yeah. Let's see. Light reveals all enemies in stealth or invisible to you while infected with Divine Shield. That's cool. Let's see. Dude! Certificate of Achievement in Subtraction. Way to go, man! Woohoo! You're the first kid to get both your addition and subtraction. Guys, check that out. Archo's got his Certificate of Achievement in addition and subtraction, awarded for demonstrating fluency of subtraction by answering all beginning subtraction facts in under 6 seconds. Speedran them bad boys. Yeah, I'm just gonna try Templar first, but yeah, I guess if you want damage over time, yeah. Go Archer! Woohoo! Blasted those bad boys, speedran them. All right, well now that we've not so speedrun our Ret talents, let's go ahead and set up our actual character with some buttons and go take on the Void. Well, then us and see what it feels like to play the class. Like, I mean, we set something up, it looks like. Let's go give it a try, right? All right, boys. Into the breach. I haven't played much Ret, so bear with me. I do feel like Ret, like... Ret really doesn't have the rainbow buttons. But maybe we can find a way to be bad at it. We were playing Templar, so... What was the deal with the hammer? Wake of Ashes is replaced by Hammer of Light for 20 seconds after it's cast. Okay. It just sort of becomes it automatically, and then it just starts dropping hammers on pools regardless. It seems to be the case. Let's give it a try.
Anaria Shala. Remain vigilant.
Chronokai Crystal. Light guide us.
What up, bro? Into battle, Bajheera. Into battle we go. Are we gonna go crazy and pull 2 mobs? Light them up, Bajheera. Wait, does this require holy power for me to cast the hammers? How much? 6? 5? Earn. Costs a lot of holy power to cast these hammers. Try it again. Boosh. The animation looks cool. Look at our little hammers we got going on now. Better heal up, man. I'm about to get toasted by these void front pummelers over here, man. Gotta watch out, Anglo-Sax. Thanks so much for the 87 months, man. Big flex for you pumping us up, dude. Those will still increase damage hammer? If it's a holy power spender, I would imagine so, right? Oh! Smoked them. That is such a crazy animation for that attack. That's a little slashed, by the way. Why am I just dead, though? I need to work on this being dead thing. Is it just holy power spending that we gotta do some more of to get my stuff? Get him, Bajheera. Don't let him push you around. Get him, little fella. Oh, do I have a link for what now? There should be a talent if they didn't remove it, so judge procs more. Some more damage can. So we just went through all the talents, and maybe we have what you're talking about. I think judgment is supposed to increase the damage of holy power spenders. What was that? What's the guy for 20,000? Oh, we don't have healing salve. Oh. I think we can go get it upstairs though. What happened? Evade. Boom! Right, so look at this little wave of light that comes out. Is that cool? Kind of cool. And then we have Hammer of Wrath. Interesting. I don't think I should be here. We should not be fighting all these guys at one time. Oh, unless we should. Unless it's my destiny. Yeah, that hammer slam looks crazy. I mean, that's not new. I just haven't really played much Ret. Like, even in War Within. With the steeds! We gotta get out of here, man. With the steeds! But we do have, you kind of have to press Crusader Strike again. You don't just have it for free. I don't really feel like I have a lot of passive healing, but I think we also just didn't like spec for it. When did when did Alpha drop? It became available last weekend, Jenny said. Yeah, Thursday. We got to play a little early for some of this cool stuff that Blizz let us do, which is awesome. But I don't think it's currently just open alpha, so may not actually be available for everybody yet. Right? Don't know if plays it. Yeah. And we got some special early access, which is super crazy cool. Very grateful for that, dude. I feel kind of naked without my unholy DK pets currently, honestly. Yeah, I gotta quit getting into fights with these things. Look at this sort of justice AoE though. It's kind of crazy. Leave, Bajheera. You got nothing to prove, man. Oh, 40. What we could do is lay on hands though. I feel like I should just rotationally lay on hands. I just don't feel like sitting there pressing flash of light, you know? It's a long cooldown though. Sheesh, man. Am I still getting chased? What do you want, man? What is wrong with you? Why are you making me do this? Boosh! Those extra Empyrean hammers coming in though. Alpha keys? No. It's just your account is flagged kind of thing. And I don't know if we have like a timeline for like this sort of next waves or anything like that. I did ask, but I don't think they have like a timeline for that for you guys. Skablam, dude. That is a lot of demooch. I don't know what is hitting for 80. Is that the expurgation? Because whatever that is, that's not worth. If I had to put points into it. Pulse, thank you so much, man. A big flex for you. Pumping us up for 46 months, man. Thank you, dude. Think tomorrow's the next wave. Could be wrong. I mean, you could be right, though. You could be right. Tomorrow is also Legion Remix. So, let's see. You want to what now? You do? Me too. It'll be really fun. We'll do that tomorrow. Hopefully your little voice is feeling better. Jenny definitely like blasted her voice to smithereens. She was singing her heart out at our Bring Me the Horizon concert. Oh, that is some demooch. I like that for Rep Pally. Let's go. How's Alpha? It's pretty fun. Pretty fun. Yeah, we got to get Jenny's voice healed up so she can hang out with us on stream tomorrow. What time does Legion Remix begin? Do you guys know? Is it just like upon reset? Is it early in the day or is it later in the afternoon? Let's see. Performance between Warrior and DK for Legion. Oh man. Yeah, Jenny will be ready to rock. Yeah, we'll see what's up tomorrow. Should be fun though, no matter what. You're shooting me. Like I'm not pressing enough holy power spenders. 3 p.m. PST? What? For remix? That's like when I get off the stream for the daytime session. Jenny's gonna be carrying the squad for that. He's gonna be running the show for the remix. Sounds like. I mean, Red is definitely. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing, but Red is definitely doing some damage. Are they shooting me? Bro, I am dead.
Peace, friend.
Meritor, help me. Meritor, help! Oh, don't let him get me. Nice, he's tanking for me. My hero, he did save me. Ooh. Got him. Got him. That's always doing damage. Yeah, that's crazy. But so normal maintenance is supposed to last that long? Ain't no way, bro. I mean, we'll play alpha if we can't play remix, but I was pretty excited to get into remix tomorrow. How do I feel about alpha so far? I like the vision. I think I see a little bit about what they're thinking about with like class design and sort of paring down some ability bloat. I'm seeing what they're doing. I think I got an idea of it, and I like it. I think they're cooking. On the cook to cooking scale, I think they're cooking. You know what I mean? I'm liking what I'm seeing. Remix and Turbo Boost at the end of the month as well. Yeah. Yeah. That'll be fun too. Because we have been doing some PvE. Turbo Boost doesn't really, I think, make as much of a difference to us because we're not really raiding. But we could. I do kind of want to get Jenny in some of the raids just for fun. She's been hammering him at the Plus. Which has been pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's good. I think they're cooking. It doesn't feel like dumbed down, but it does feel a little bit like there are some things that are like combined with each other, or it's like everything has some kind of like synergy where it may not have before, and some things that don't have synergy are just like not there. Now some things that were nice, like Ignore Pain for Warrior, are no longer there. But that's like a little bit worrisome. But we'll see how it goes. Dude, can you guys stop? I'm trying to leave. Guys out here testing my patience, man.
We stand together. We didn't come this far to falter now.
I guess my hammers are still
Dionys
smacking.
Arc.
I really don't. I don't think Ret really had a lot of reason to do crit, right? Stop it. Boosh.
We have made many
Okay.
sacrifices.
Okay, I don't feel like it's odd because Ret is like a legit hybrid, but I feel like my recovery as Ret isn't as good as DK or Warrior with just Victory Rush. But there was a talent where I could tap Victory Rush. Right? Like when I kill something that gives me honor, I could be healing myself. It's in there somewhere, yeah. It's in there somewhere. Maybe I should. I really didn't take much utility. So I don't know what I'm complaining about. That doesn't really feel that bad though. We're kind of popping off. Oh, I just sort of healed him passively just by like existing. You got it, bro. Happy to help. Slammed. There was a time early on in War Within where like that gigaton hammer didn't have a cooldown or something. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, we'll be playing Legion Remix. Yeah, looking forward to it. Yep. Yep. That was a cool interview, huh? Really nice of them to take the time. They had done a billion interviews by that point, I'm sure, but it was still really cool to talk with them and to be able to get a variety of questions. You're talking about PvP, talking about Prey, talking about like transmog, talking about all kinds of stuff. They were very generous with their answers and their time, so appreciate that. Very cool. Hope you guys liked it too. Dude, if you want to play a mage and a demon hunter, the new demon hunter is an intellect class. Like, what the heck, huh?
The eternal sun.
What the heck?
guides us.
Red feels pretty chill to play though. Especially since I'm like a big noob at Red, right? We're chilling. I'm sure Ret will feel good to have a little bit more gear too. Because remember, we start off with like super potato characters in this little scenario that we start off in. We're in like, probably like about boosted gear, if even. So, not real strong at this point in our characters' lives. I feel like a lot of the talents that I'm seeing in this are like trying to find ways to doing AoE and whatnot, and that was kind of the same thing with like Frost DK. So we're definitely seeing a lot of like building your character out for like Mythic Plus, but not necessarily exclusively, right? So remember how fast we were killing this thing as Unholy DK? I think Red's doing its dang thing too, right? I think we do need a Prio Blade of Justice a little bit more. Some more judgments out. So we have 4 stacks of judgments on this guy. Wow, okay. Killed him in like 30 seconds, yeah. Not bad, not bad. So yeah, Red feels good. It feels like it's flowing nicely, I think. Chunking and dunking. We could try the Templar one too if we wanted, but yeah, we'll see. Will they put in a difficulty in Prey? Yeah. I think it's definitely the kind of thing that won't be too tough eventually, but I don't know if you heard in the interview, they said it would, like, they were definitely not sure, but you can't really like kind of hold them to this or anything, but it probably scales like Delves. It probably scales like other like world content, right? That's kind of the impression that I got. It'll probably scale like all that stuff in the bottom tier of your vault, right? So it probably won't be like crazy hard, but who knows? Who knows? Still should be a lot of fun though. If Audowns like Gladius are allowed at midnight, I'm not sure what all is gonna sort of survive the purge. Let's see. Let's see. All right, Brett seems pretty cool. Pretty cool, Mr. Bajheera. We'll keep playing this one. What else are we interested in? Like Windwalker? Somebody was mentioning. We could try Rogue, but I'm pretty sure I would die instantly as a Rogue. Not sure I don't know if we can quickly do Rogue. But Red Paladin I think feels pretty good, man. Feels pretty standard. The biggest kind of like, whoa, this is crazy is Unholy DK. And for somebody else about the buff, this is just phase 2. Okay, cool. We'll go Red Pally, man. Feels pretty good. At least Templar. We could try Herald as well, but I think it's probably the same sort of deal, right? Just different sort of power up. I like that big chunk of the hammer slammer. That's cool. Enhancement, yeah, okay, all right, we'll see. But GG to Ret though, feels good.